Pemberton and Soito will set the pace as they come down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. 20 cars, 30 laps, Grand American Modified Weekly Racing Series. Hammers come down, Pete looks him over, green's out. On the break, down into turns 1 and 2, it's Steve Pemberton jumping out into the lead as everybody makes it through turns 1 and 2. They bring them around off at turns 3 and 4. Pemberton with the lead. Soito in second place. Hermosillo pulls it in. Jacobson back there. Here comes Cecil and Pettit now. Pettit tries that outside move, tries to get around into that 4th spot. Nott holding on to that 6th spot. Hogue and Kirkpatrick trying to make a move, but it's Steve Pemberton up there with the lead. Smith and Byrd, but they keep them going. Yellow stays in. 3 abreast as they come into turns 1 and 2. Pettit with a big slide job, moves around, tries to take over 3rd. He does it into turns 3 and 4, but it's Pemberton with the lead. Soito in 2nd. Pettit now moves up into that 3rd spot as Hogue tries working that bottom. Down into turns 3 and 4, Steve Pemberton pulling it hard as he comes down to complete 5. Pemberton with the lead, Soito in 2nd. Pettit trying to close in on those leaders. Jacobson, Cecil, Nott, Kirkpatrick and the Hogues. And here comes Scott now moving into that pack. Everybody swings them hard. It's still Steve Pemberton with a big lead up there. Soito, but here comes Pettit now. Down on the inside of Soito, working through 2nd. Pemberton down on the inside, gets by Smith, gets by Garvin. Everybody right in front of those leaders now. Soito and Garvin, and Pettit moves around, takes over that 2nd spot, gets through traffic. Down on the inside of Smith. Soito trying to move through. Jacobson on the high side. Here comes the master of traffic, Hogue, down on that inside. And Daddy right behind him. Pemberton now. Looks like he might have caught a tire. Looks like he's got a tire rubbing. Will it hold up for another 20 laps? Pettit up there trying to catch Pemberton as Pemberton brings it around. He's got a tire rubbing down on that right rear. Full that tire last, Pemberton out of shape. He loses that tire, puts it up on the high side. Pettit takes over the lead. Pemberton trying to keep that car running. Yellow comes out. Pettit takes the high side, puts Soito down on the bottom. Hogue and Jacobson in that 2nd row. Hogue and Nott in the 3rd row as they bring him down off the banking. Green's back out. Pettit working that high side, and here comes Hogue right behind him. Pettit down up there. Here comes Hogue working right behind him. Soito, Jacobson, and Bobby Hogge the 3rd now tries the inside on Jacobson. Hogue brings it around, takes over that 4th spot. Down into turns 3 and 4. It's still Pettit up there with the lead. Hogue can't get the car to stick on the high side. And Soito takes over 3rd again. Jacobson back to 4th. Nott and Scott up there in that lead pack. But Pettit and Hogue out there with the lead. Pettit brings it off. 14 down for Pettit. Hogue right on his rear moves. Soito the race back there for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Soito holding on to 3rd. But here comes Jacobson, Scott, and Nott, all of them together. Race right back there. Jacobson out of shape, collects everybody up there. And that'll bring out the yellow. Yellow comes out. Everybody trying to find a way through. 16 straightaway. Soito and Nott in the second row. Hogge and Byrd back there in that third row. Hammers come down as they come off at turns 3 and 4. Green's out. Pettit on that high side slams it into 1 and 2. Hogge right there with him on the bottom. Everybody runs him down the back straightaway. Pettit with the lead. Hogge in second. Nott now in third, and Bobby Hogge the third, trying to take over that fourth spot. Moves around, doesn't. Dave Byrd trying to move up, take over fifth. They come down that back straightaway. Pettit holds on to the lead. Bobby Hogge the fourth in second place. Nott trying to make it work. He washes out, and he catches Hogge the fourth, and Hogge the third slams the car in. Hogge the fourth will bring out another yellow as they come down the back straightaway. Second row, Byrd and Hogge in that third row. Hammers come down as they come off. Green's out. On the break, down into turns 1 and 2. It's Hogge down on that inside. Pettit holding on to that high side. Down off of turns 3 and 4. Pettit works it to the line. Hogge all over that inside. Soito working the high side. Nott down on the bottom. Byrd moves it around, takes over fifth spot. But you're leading up there. Pettit holds on to the lead. Hogge has to do a little bit of a break. Bobby Scott with a big move, and he's starting to show all kinds of smoke. Down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Pettit and Hogge can't quite find what it is up there, and they bring him down. Pettit holds on to the lead. Hogge looking for anything he can find as they come down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4. Hogge works the bottom on Pettit. Pettit brings it off on that high side. Nott up into third place. Soito running fourth. Byrd back in fifth. And Scott now in sixth, and seventh is Bobby Hogge the fourth. Your leaders bring them back down to the line. 24 down. Hogge and Pettit side by side. Pettit with the drive. Hogge down to the bottom. Can't get it. They set over into turns 3 and 4. Ooh, they touch. They bring them around. They get off the gas. Pettit holds on to the lead. But here comes Nott. Nott now moves around, takes over second. That let all those guys close in on him. Nott down on the bottom of Pettit. Does a slide job. Right up in front of him as Hogge breaks. Up there, the yellow's going to come out. Bobby Hogge losing the left front, and I think JP's done the same thing. Up behind him, then back to Hogge and the Hogge as they bring them off at turns 3 and 4. Green's back out. On the break, down into turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Nott with the lead. Scott with a good move on that high side, brings it around, takes over second place. 27 down, yellow back out. Jim DiGiovanni down there bringing it into the infield. They bring him down into turns 3 and 4. Hammers come down as they come off. Green's out. On the break, down to the 1 and 2. Nott up on the high side. Scott down at the bottom. They go side by side down the back straightaway. Byrd right there with him. Scott puts it in hard. Nott on that high side. Everybody comes to the line side by side. Scott showing a lot of smoke. Nott on the high side. Scott on the bottom. Byrd and Hogge right there behind him down the back straightaway. Byrd pushes Nott trying to get some drive. They can't get it up. They come off. White flags out. 1 to go. Kenny Nott up there with the lead. Bobby Scott on the bottom. Can he do it? Byrd and Hogge back there. Hogge and Scott can't get it to work. They come down on the bottom, and here comes Hogge. It's a drag race on it to the line. Coming to the line, it's Nott, Scott, Byrd, and Hogge. Woo! 3 laps made up for it all. Second place, let's hear it for him. He gave it quite a try. The Flying Scott, Bobby Scott Jr. Bobby Hogge finishes 4th. Kenny Nott picking up the win. Dave Byrd at 3rd place.